Hi, everybody. Welcome to my office. Um, this past week, I have been continuing my work on rutilated quartz, filming some videos for you. But upon reflection, they mostly involve how this gemstone supports communication and self-expression. So these are interactions that we have between ourselves and the outside world. But I'm learning that rutilated quartz also seems to have a focus at the cellular level. And from what I observe, it seems to be strengthening and repairing and repopulating these thin thread-like filaments that connect cells and tissues throughout the body. Now, I'm guessing they may work very similarly to the mycorrhizal network of fungal threads that connect trees via their root system. And the purpose of those is to share nutrients and water between the trees, support biodiversity, and I think also allow for some kind of communication between the trees as well. Now, I do know that the better our cells communicate, the healthier that they will be. So I'm thinking this rutilated quartz will have something to do to support that as well. A really good question came up this week that caused me to take a really good look at something that I take for granted. And the question was, how do you know what you know about diamonds and gemstones? I'll give you a short answer and then a longer one. And the short one is, I just know. But it got me to thinking, how do I explain this? And actually, I thought of Mozart, who I believe it was at age 4, he started playing the violin. And by age 8, had written his first symphony. And by age 12, his first opera. Now, he had a teacher who was his father, but not every child with a musician parent reproduces this type of accomplishment. So how did he do it? There are actually many examples through history of children who know things that they weren't necessarily taught. And my purpose for saying this is certainly not to compare myself with them or with Mozart, but I do think I know where they got their information from. Which brings me into my long answer about that question. So it was in the 1980s, I fell into a situation that prompted me to begin channeling the guardians of the gemstones. Now, the guardians are the otherworld beings who are the caretakers of the gemstones. I recorded my experiences that I was having with them, and these recordings were transcribed and then edited into a book called The Gifts of the Gemstone Guardians. So if you want to find the original version, look for one that has a copyright of 1989, because I gave away my copyright at my divorce. So you will find several other versions, but the publication date will be after 1989. Well, in any case, the channeling that I did was very bad for both my physical and spiritual health, so I stopped doing it. I took a 14-year hiatus from the work, during which time, long story short, I had a near-death experience while flatlining in the ICU. You can read the full details of that experience in my book, Accepting Destiny, which is currently available through Amazon. In any case, as a result of that, I realized how much I love sharing information about healing diamonds and gemstones, and that bringing information out about them and diamond and gemstone therapy to this planet, to this world, was one of my missions in this lifetime. But I absolutely didn't want to do any more channeling. Instead, I learned from my near-death experience how to visit these otherworldly libraries, and where a great deal of this information is already published, and also to visit inner world healing centers where diamond and gemstone therapy is practiced, studied, and researched. So for me, this type of information retrieval is far safer than channeling. It also allows me a great deal of freedom, and every time that I have this experience, it always lifts my spirits and my vibrations. So to answer the question directly about how do I know this stuff? Well, I get my information by researching it in these inner world libraries, either consciously or in the dream state. And then I just wake up in the morning just knowing this stuff and I have to write it down. Or consciously, I will go visit professors and researchers in these inner world healing centers, ask them questions, and then they share their knowledge. And I feel very fortunate to be the recipient of that. So where did Mozart get his musical proficiency? I'm sure, no doubt, it was stuff that he carried over from past lives, but regardless, I'm guessing he also continued his studies in these inner worlds too. Whether consciously or in the dream state, we'll never know. But no, now you know. Anyway, this week at the Gemstone Therapy Institute, I'm continuing my dive into rutilated quartz, and I'm still catching up from my 2 weeks away in the Pacific Northwest. So you can look forward to more videos about that gemstone later this week. Okay, well, bye-bye for now, and I'll see you next time.